called multi-source reasoning. Now, this is very little different from critical reasoning. It's just that you will get information from a couple of different sources, well, 3. And so they could be 3 different little brief excerpts from newspapers or magazines or trade journals, or 3 different little sound bites of experts or scientists or doctors on a given subject. And they may have contrasting views. They may have similar views. They may talk about 2 completely different aspects of the same thing, or not even the same thing at all. And then you'll be asked questions, and you'll need to take whatever information you need from those 3 sources to answer the questions. Now, it's been my experience from what they provided so far. I mean, I wrote the stuff that we're going to look at here this evening, but it's been my experience from what I've been able to see so far that even though they give you 3 passages, the questions they give you, each question seems to only really call on information located in one of the 3 different reading sections. So it's not even as hard as they make it out to be there. But one is just cause and effect. And I don't know what kind of root truck they think we just fell off of if we can't figure out cause and effect. Okay, boiled down to its most basic level, cause and effect is something happened and it caused something else to happen, and that was the effect of that first thing. Okay, and that's cause and effect. And so you can say there was a rainstorm outside, that was the cause, and the effect was the next morning there were rain puddles, or water puddles outside. That was one of the effects of it. Okay, that was a cause and effect relationship. You get rainstorms, you have rainstorms, you get mud puddles, and you think about that logically, and that's not something that just at first glance seems to follow. Yeah, when you think about it logically, that does follow. And then there are there are cause and effects arguments that don't make any sense, and yet people still cling to them. And this is the logical fallacy of post hoc ergo propter hoc, which is not something you'll ever need to learn. I just like saying it. And it just means after which, therefore caused by. And you can see the fallacy of that is that Elmer wore his green tie and bought a lottery ticket that won $10,000. He's wearing his green tie again today, so he's going to win $10,000 again. Well, no, that's saying that just because something happened afterwards, it was necessarily caused by an effect of the first thing. And you just look at it logically. Well, no, they just happened to happen in sequence, but the one didn't cause the other. So let's see. If you would just run a couple by, just really super simple, but that's the best way to answer questions on this test. If they start to get it all complicated for you, rather than let them take you to a higher level and make it more complicated, you say, stop for a second and take it down to a more basic level and just say, does this make sense? Because everything on this test is still based ultimately on common sense. Even math questions that may cover stuff that you don't recall clearly or something, the answer still has to make common sense. So Bob left the bread in the toaster and for too long and it burnt. Is that a cause and effect relationship? Yes, I mean, okay, there are a couple of little intermediate steps. We don't have to go into that much detail. Yes, he left it in too long, therefore the toaster had too long to burn it, and therefore the toaster burned it, and therefore the toast was burnt. No, you can go ahead and skip those intermediate steps and say, Bob left the toast in the toaster for too long, so it burnt. Yeah, that's cause and effect. Just, common sense. Now, um, Bob put bread in the toaster and the phone rang. Is that cause and effect? No. Okay, that's assuming he didn't burn it and his neighbor wasn't calling to see if he was okay. That's two things that just happened in sequence. They're unrelated, and so that's not a cause and effect relationship. So whenever you're looking for cause and effect, you just want to sometimes or very often you're going to find the effect, which we're still talking about business here and increasing sales and bringing in more market share and stuff. So that's usually the effect that we're looking for. And then I purposely am using these words, for effect. That's the effect. What can we do to cause that to happen? And that can be as simple as, well, we need to advertise more, or we need to, spend our advertising money more wisely so that more of our target market is aware of the product. Okay, what's going to cause the effect that we want to happen? It's just that simple. I sound like William Shatner teaching a marketing course. It's just that simple. You spend money on advertising. And I didn't set out to do that, so don't hold that against me. And and that's a good way to look at any argument, whether math or English. Very often, if they give you an argument that's going to be hard trudging to get through from beginning to end, well, instead start with the end, which you may or may not be given, and then find your way back to the beginning. So in this case, if the effect is known, we want increased sales. What's the cause and effect relationship? Well, let's go back and find what would cause sales to increase. And we'll see the cause and effect was they spent more money in prime time, and their sales went up 10% that week. Okay, that was cause and effect, if that is proven to be valid. So let's look at one here. Now, uh-oh.